guys, welcome to Animal Educate. My name's Abby and today we're here to talk about seagulls. Seagulls are traditionally a part of the seaside environment. You could go as far as to say they're a symbol of the seaside. Their population started to develop across coastal areas like fishing towns, which then later on started to extend to non-fishing towns. So they've become a very urbanized animal. But historically they're marine in their habits. They used to nest on sea cliffs so they could be closer to their food supply. So what happened to prompt this move inland? Animals, including us, we have our basic needs, our requirements. We need food and we need safety. Their food supply changed. We were providing them with a lot of food. Fishing operations have changed dramatically over the years because we were overfishing, and we still are. The seagulls really used to benefit from our waste, which we used to throw overboard. When that stopped happening, there was an increase in food supply elsewhere. We've always had problems managing our waste. When the Clean Air Act came in, it meant that we weren't burning our waste anymore, which then meant more was going to landfill. It gave them an abundant food source. Not only that, our rooftops offer a predator-free nesting site. Seagulls are found along coastal areas all over the world, but the UK has 70% of its population. You'll find them in North and South America, the Caribbean, Antarctica, Australia, Europe and the UK. And of course they adapt to whichever environment they're in. There's no such thing as a seagull. It's the informal way of referring to any of the species that belong to the gull family. Each species of gull have their own name. The herring gull, the lesser black-backed gull, the great black-backed gull, the common gull, the black-headed gull, the kittiwake, the Mediterranean gull, the Iceland gull, the glaucous gull, the yellow-legged gull, and the little gull. And these are just a few. There's many more species of gull. They can be small, medium, or large. Depending on the time of year and age of the bird, they'll exhibit different colours. Most gulls are grey, black and white when fully mature, but extensively marked with various shades of brown. They have very long wings, strong bills and webbed feet, a round or square-shaped tail, and a small claw halfway up the lower leg so they can attach to high ledges. There's a few you're more likely to see. The herring gull is the stereotypical gull. These are quite large. They have pale grey upper parts and pink legs. In the UK, there's about 140,000 breeding pairs. This species is on the red list due to ongoing population declines. The lesser black-backed gull, this is similar in size to the herring gull, but it's slightly smaller. They have a slate grey upper part and they have bright yellow legs. The lesser black-backed gull has about 110,000 breeding pairs in the UK, and this species is on the amber list because the UK is home to about 40% of the European population, and more than half of these are found at fewer than 10 sites. They pretty much eat anything, as they're scavengers, even rotting carcasses. The main bulk of their diet, depending on the location, includes fish. They'll eat worms, rodents, carrion, offal, reptiles, eggs. The list is endless. I could go on all day. Seagulls are very intelligent. They learn, they remember. They have some really interesting behaviours, such as stamping their feet in a group to imitate rainfall and trick earthworms to come to the surface. They know to drop hard-shelled mollusks onto rocks so that they break open. What's really interesting about them, because most animals are unable to do this, but they've actually got a special pair of glands right above their eyes, which is specifically designed to flush the salt from their systems. This means that they can drink both fresh and salt water. Seagulls mate for life, and they'll be very productive breeders during the mating season, which begins in February. They usually lay about 3 eggs during April and May, and then the young will appear within weeks. Young seagulls form nursery flocks. This is where they learn lots of vital skills for adulthood. They're usually watched over by a few adult males, and these flocks they'll remain together until the birds are old enough to breed. Seagulls are attentive and caring parents, and they take it in turns to incubate the eggs. and feeding and protecting the chicks. It's difficult to tell the difference between a male and a female seagull. The male tends to have a brighter, more colourful plumage. Seagulls communicate in lots of different ways, but it includes a very vast range of vocalizations and body movements. Some seagulls have a red dot on the end of their bill. It's said that it can be a sign of fitness, so it reflects how healthy they are and how good their eggs will be. It's also said that the chicks react to the red spots on the beak of an adult gull. There's been many animal behaviour scientists that found that newborn herring gulls instinctively beg when they see a red spot. So when the chicks peck at the red spot, both males and females, breakfast is served. Seagulls are just as important to the environment as any other animal. You could say that they're a natural pest control, the insects, and they can manage their populations a lot better than we can. They're also an indicator species. Now this means that just by their mere presence and monitoring their behaviour, we can determine the health of an ecosystem. That's really valuable information to scientists. It means that we can monitor not just one thing in the environment, but the whole environment. When young seagulls fledge, it means that they can be on the floor for many days. The parents will defend and protect this individual. They'll continue to feed the fledgling. They are going to perceive you or anyone or anything going near that fledgling as a threat. So they will swoop down and they may warn you off. It depends probably how close you are, but they'll certainly want you to get away. So we leave lots of litter around. We have problems when we don't use the right bins. They overfill. We jam them full of discarded items, all of our waste. Seagulls with their beaks can obviously get through. Leaving food unattended is an issue as well. They are very opportunistic and they're going to take that food if they can. One of the biggest problems is feeding seagulls. We have more problems at holiday resorts because people from other countries perhaps don't understand the situation here in the UK. They don't really have much fear of us and they've become very confident around us, so they will hang around. It won't take long for that gull to become accustomed to that, and you'll find that they will keep coming back. Also, when people feed the seagull, there's an issue because they are very competitive in nature and they'll swoop down to grab the food from the hand. When they see food, it's almost like a frenzy that comes over them. They will just do anything to take that food, and if there's more than one gull around, they're competitive, so they'll both swoop. It's going to cause that aggression and maybe injuries. The summer's when seagulls have their chicks, which means that it obviously falls into the season where we're going to be down by the seaside and we are going to have food out. This is a time when the parents are going to be at their most protective. They're protecting their young. They will defend them. This is a huge conflict when it comes to managing our relationship with them. What can we do about these problems? Don't go near wandering chicks unless they need help. If you're concerned, you can hang around and just check the parents are close by. Make sure you use the correct bins. Make sure they have a lid and don't overfill them. Pick up rubbish off the floor. Never leave your food unattended and always make sure to cover it when you're not eating it. Don't feed them. As tempting as it is, you're only making the problem worse. Expect to see them when you go to the beach, so make sure you prepare. This might mean taking food containers with you, making sure that your food's well wrapped. Balance your perception. Remember, you're dealing with a wild animal. Spread the word. Next time you have a conversation about seagulls, have it your main focus to educate the other person when it comes to seagull behaviour. And last of all, be the hero. Be kind. People do love the seagull. People will want to photograph the seagull. They'll want to study it, feed it, take care of it. Then you have the other side to the perception where people despise the seagull. They hate them. They want them gone. They find them annoying, noisy, aggressive, messy, even dangerous. And this is the majority. If you've been attacked by a gull before, if you've witnessed negative seagull behaviour, and when you've also got collectively people talking about their negative gull experiences, it's very easy to then have a particular perception or opinion of them. We can't be blamed for that. It's not a nice experience. And then you have the media as well. Throw in a bit of propaganda. You've got a really villainized animal. The seagull is a wild animal and it's all about survival. They don't really know right from wrong. This is also their world now. They've lived here for many, many years. That's because of our habits. They've moved inland. They don't know any different. Why would they actually attack you? You think because they don't like the look of you? It's never something that can be taken personally. It's because they want something from you. They want your food, or they're scared. They feel threatened. When you look at it this way, it's a much more balanced perception, because you're viewing that animal as a wild animal and not as someone that's out to get you. Stephen Jay Gould, the evolutionary biologist, once wrote that the seagull wing is as near to nature gets to perfection, and you can really see this when you watch them. What have you learned? We've looked at gull history, types of gull behaviour, common problems with the gull, as well as some solutions, and gull perception. Thank you so much for watching today's video, guys. I really hope you've enjoyed it and you know a little bit more about seagulls. Please do subscribe, hit that bell if you want to receive alerts for regular content, and we'll see you next time.